Recently, I posted a video where I spoke about some of the best comic book movie directors or superhero movie directors, whichever term fits you. Some of you guys didn't like what I said about it, which is fine, and I don't mind talking to you guys about it. But that got me thinking, what is the best superhero movie? Let's get this right out the gate. This is completely my opinion, okay? I'm not the voice of what movies are amazing or spectacular. No, I could only speak for myself and those things. So I'm gonna go over 3 movies. Originally, I was just gonna say one. I'm gonna say 3 movies that I really think are my top 3 of the best superhero movies ever. But I will also start with an honorable mention list. And in this list, if I made it a top 10 movie list or a top 15, they would definitely be there. And maybe on another given day, they switch out for one of the first 3. But just because I didn't want to make it so polarizing, I wanted to talk about, at least say some honorable mentions before I get into the 3. Now, just before we get right into this video, I just wanted to say quick and sincere thank you, because I hit 100 subscribers on this YouTube channel, and I never believed in my life I would hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. I always wanted to make videos, talk about the things I like, so me being able to get like 100 subscribers, just me yapping about the things I like and always like, is truly amazing. And I can't say thank you more than from the bottom of my heart. So stick around to the end of this, because I think you're going to know what number 1 is. All right, let's get into his honorable mention.
Spider-Man, hero or menace? Exclusive Daily Bugle photo.
And before, just a real quick honorable mention to the new Superman movie, Into the Spider-Verse, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man No Way Home, Iron Man 1, Black Panther, Captain America Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, and The Dark Knight. Okay, wait, don't click off from the video yet, because in honorable mentions I do mention The Dark Knight, which means it is not in my top 3. However, I do think on some days it does make it to that top 3. I think in the process of making this video, I've come to realize how much I love the Matt Reeves Batman movie, and that would be my number 3 spot. Now, The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan does a lot of things great. Like, Heath Ledger has one of the best performances ever, and all the very cool action sequence and fight scenes and very action-packed set pieces that it's kind of incredible to watch, and also the iconic scene of the Joker blowing up the hospital. Heath Ledger kind of improvised it and made the shot even better. Iconic dialogue, speeches, moments. There's a lot of things it does good. However, I think Matt Reeves makes an overall Batman movie better. And the reason why is, I think Christopher Nolan, the way he makes his movies is very action-packed and things that you don't see ever in your life if you didn't watch the movie. And I think for me, it's easier to appreciate what Matt Reeves does in The Batman, which is bring out Gotham into the real world. Like, I see Gotham, oh, that's Gotham. And then I look at the Dark Knight movie, I'm like, wait, that's like just like Chicago, which I guess is like Gotham. I think the Batman movie does a great job, an overall feeling of Batman, and the way he presents Gotham is the most truest Gotham I've ever seen, especially that beginning monologue where he talks about his mindset and what Batman thinks of Gotham and how it looks on Halloween night. It's like out of a comic book. It's like playing the Arkham Knight game. Another thing that I think the Christopher Nolan movie falls off short is Christian Bale's performance as Batman, or more so as Bruce Wayne. I mean, he's good at it, don't get me wrong. I think he does a great job as Bruce and being the playboy, whatever. But I don't think his Batman is that good. I think there's a lot of action scenes that he does well in, but for me, what Robert Pattinson does as Batman is better, especially for a younger Batman. And I understand these two Batmans. Christian Bale's Batman is a later point in Batman's career, whereas Robert Pattinson's would be a younger Batman, like just starting off. But I think he does it good. He's a recluse orphan, so he doesn't interact with anyone. He's sad, he's moody, he's Batman. And then as Batman, he's a good detective. He's kind of crazy. He's like trying to keep the streets clean. His suit looks so much more like realistic, I guess you could say, as someone who just has to make his suit. And he really does, especially that first scene where he beats up those guys with clown makeup. Really looks like the Batman. And a lot of people had the doubts, and me included. I didn't think Robert Pattinson could do it, but his performance is incredible, and I would say was better than Christian Bale's. More so on the like Bruce Wayne Batman himself. Yeah, like I like how they show the more detective side of him, like breaking down the crime scene, picking things apart, and also the inclusion of his gadgets, like the contact lenses, the wingsuit. It all seemed more practical and things that he had to come up with to really an edge up on these villains, and that's really cool. That's a like realistic Batman trait of his innovation and his ability to make gadgets and always think ahead and take in everything around him. I think Matt Reeves does a great job showing that in the movie. This version of Batman is more in line with the ideas of that I believe Batman is, that he's literally insane. That he is not all up there in his head. He is not, that's what Batman is at the end of the day, and that's what these comparisons with Joker and all these villains come out to, that he's as crazy as anyone, because he dresses up as a bat, goes out and lives by this moral code that at some point doesn't even help anyone, but he gonna stick by it and live by it, where it sometimes causes more harm than good. I think this Batman is great at that. That's a great depiction of that type of Batman. Oh, wait, one more thing. The Batmobile is awesome. The Batmobile scene is incredible. The chase down, the blowing up, terrific. 10 out of 10. Also, other characters. The Penguin, great performance. That's literally the Penguin. What more can you ask for? Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. She's great. Really good Catwoman Batman dynamic. And then Paul Dano as the Riddler is really, really, really good. Paul Dano always knocks out of the park those performances of those kind of strange characters. And with the Riddler, he does it the best because it takes all the things that outsmart the Batman. Expose Gotham to the disgusting thing it is. Screw up with the rich. Prove how he's so smart and intelligent. It's all there. And even the mystery of does he know? Does he know if he's actually Batman's Bruce Wayne or not? And that's left at the end. Those things are terrific. The story is great. The movie is just so fun to watch, and it's always such a great time to be immersed in it and follow the story along. And then the end is probably the best. The last scene where he jumps down, takes out those guys, gives himself some boosters. I think another thing that the Christopher Nolan thinks is Batman's actual love for his city. And that's what this Robert Pattinson Batman does in this movie. Instead of thinking it's something gross and something just be cleansed and something that only he can do, he's literally shown at the end still being the Dark Knight, but still leading the people of Gotham to brighter times. And that ending monologue really builds it all together. I'm like, wow, this is great. That's really Batman. Christian Bale Batman literally leaves Gotham with Catwoman. That would never do that. You never do that. That's bad because he wouldn't do that. But more so on the Matt Reeves Batman movie. No, yeah, that movie is terrific. So I think it's really deserving that number 3 spot. I'm excited for the second movie for sure. I don't think I want Court of Owls. I think it's cool. I think Court of Owls would be cool. Depends how they implement it. I think it would fit this world. I really want Hush. I think that'd be intriguing. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Let's get to number 2. All right, well, if anyone is still watching at this point, yeah, the number 2 spot for me is Logan. Now, that might be crazy to a lot of people, but for me, Logan is an amazing movie. And when I was growing up, I watched a lot of X-Men things, especially the classic X-Men movies, X-Men show on TV, the Wolverine stuff, and played the games. I really loved the X-Men. And like the newer X-Men stuff, like First Class was good. And First Class was good. So I really love the X-Men. So this movie to me was kind of like what Endgame and Infinity War was. It was the conclusion of this huge series that I love to watch. It was a character that I really liked. I really like Wolverine because I like history. I like to imagine this guy who lived forever and fought in all these wars, went through all this time, and how he's a very complicated character with a rough past. And I think Hugh Jackman does great at that role. Logan, to me, when that movie came out, I loved it. And it was kind of sad to me thinking it was the last thing Hugh Jackman was gonna be Wolverine as. I mean, he wasn't, but at the time it was pretty sad. The movie it doesn't have to be a superhero movie. You can just watch this movie whenever and just see it as some dude with claws in his hands, an old guy with Alzheimer's who could control other people's minds. And then another little girl with claws in her hands. But it's like just follows that journey of Logan and how his life kind of stinks. He reached that point of depression. At this point, all of his friends are dead. The man who mentored him and took him in, Charles Xavier, has like Alzheimer's or some other mental disease. I don't remember. He doesn't even recognize him anymore. He doesn't know what time he's in. It's very sad to see that. And so Logan doesn't know what to do with his life. He's also this man who is unkillable. Is literally dying. His own body is poisoning him. That he got from experimentations and everything. It's literally killing him. So it's all very sad. It's a very grim world. But here's the thing. I've heard that it's a different universe and it takes place not the same X-Men universe. I don't know if that's true. And if it is, it's fine. It really doesn't change a lot. It's just a little thing because still their species are getting wiped out. Normal X-Men things. And so it's still kind of the same stuff. I obviously know it takes inspiration from the comics of Old Man Logan, which are really good. So it's really cool to see this take on him. And I think Hugh Jackman does a great job. Everyone does a great job. But then this world that just kind of has nothing for him now. He meets this girl who has the same powers as he does. X-23, or as my friend calls it, Little Logan. Now he has something. First, he doesn't like the kid. The kid's kind of put onto him. He doesn't like her. He wants to get rid of her. He doesn't know why he has her, but it's kind of like her daughter. Like it's from his experiments. So Logan figures out that they're using his friends, their genes to create a new set of kids who are mutants and who will be used as weapons. And so he doesn't, not that he wants to get involved in stopping it completely, but at least he wants to help X-23 escape it. And so she brings him these comic book of the X-Men adventures and making Logan go on this pursuit to leave this girl out of safe haven, like a last good deed. Spoiler warnings from here on out, because I think I will have to talk about spoilers to really talk about what makes this movie so great to me. But the setting is amazing. The time, the little moments they go on together where they all get used to each other, and X-23 kind of grows on Logan. Like, they become friends. Him and Laura get closer together, and it's cute to see, you know? There's like bright points, but at the same time, they're getting chased by, don't remember who it is, but they're getting chased by people to get Laura back, and to make a clone of Logan, a younger Wolverine. He's a little dumber, but he's a younger Wolverine and a killable, stronger, faster guy. And he's hunting them down, literally getting chased by his past. But as you can tell, I really love this movie, and it's a great watch. The action scenes are awesome. They're filmed great, especially like the last couple ones where they're going to the woods or in the casino, or at the beginning when he first finds Laura and they're fighting off the soldiers. It's great. It's so cool. I mean, there's some scenes that are more like harder. They hit harder, especially when they get into the people's house. They just have a lovely dinner. Charles goes up to bed. Logan is at his door, and he starts talking to Logan about how he feels and like a moment of clarity. And then he gets stabbed in the stomach by Logan. Well, Logan's clone. But still, it's kind of a sad thing to think about that Charles' last memory is seeing a younger Logan killing him. And then that's like another character I always love. I love Charles Xavier. And then seeing Patrick Stewart, this is probably the last time being Charles Xavier. I thought, it's kind of sad. That's who I see when I think of older Professor X. It's just Patrick Stewart. It's kind of sad that that's how he goes out. Picks up from there. Laura yells at him. They get closer. They keep it pushing to go leave Laura, and then he meets with the kids, and it's all sweet. And then obviously we get to the last scene. They beat clone of Logan, but Logan is stabbed and is dying, and then he dies, and it's heartbreaking. I definitely cried. And then at his funeral, she puts its cross into an X. Like, come on, perfect. It's an almost perfect story. It brings the action, the comedy, the arc these characters go through, their growth, them getting accustomed to each other, a gritty man turning a little happier, and seeing the joy in life, and then the sadness at the end to wrap a story of a great character. So that's why I think it deserves the number 2 spot on my list. All right, well, you know, if anyone's still watching at this point, let's get to number 3. Why not? And at the number 1 spot is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Also, Into the Spider-Verse could be here because I believe they're kind of similar movies. I believe they're like equally as good. So honestly, you could swap whichever one. But I think I like Across the Spider-Verse more just because of a lot more Spider-Man. And I'm a big fan of Spider-Man. So what more can I ask for, honestly? More about the movie. These movies are so good. Their soundtracks are always amazing. I think it's so hard to compete against an animated superhero movie because they could do stuff that actors would never be able to do. It's easier to portray superheroes in that way, in my opinion. I think it's a perfect movie. I love Miles. I love all the Spider-Man. It's a great story for like Miles coming into that role of being the Spider-Man and how his life is going at this point and how confusing everything is to him, how he misses Gwen, how he needs to adapt to this world of the multiverse of these Spider-Men. And, you know, they have Miguel O'Hara, love that guy. A bunch of other Spider-Men, and then every other like day, every other month, I feel like I see a TikTok about another hidden detail that you just don't catch the first time and people are still finding them. And it's just, the story's so solid, and it's so fun to everywhere they go, seeing all these different New Yorks or just different cities and different Spider-Men and who they fight and what's kind of their universe, while also at the same time referencing the comics. And oh my god, and then Spider-Punk has a whole different animation style. I like how they all have their own animation styles and their worlds look so different. And I like how they do touch up on all their backstories, because they are very cool backstories and showing little things about who they fight and how it's different. And like the Spot being like a character I never heard of to like, you know, being a genuine villain. And that's like the whole point of the movie. They treat him like villain of the week, and now he's probably villain of the ever. And it's super cool, and especially Miles coming into the reality of that. Like sometimes these Spider-Man do have to, all the pain and suffering they have to go to be Spider-Man, because at the end that's what Spider-Man boils down to. And him trying to prevent his maybe future from happening, because if not, then his whole universe will blow up, come into the reality of maybe his dad dying and losing someone else. And I like that he trying to take to his own hands to change it. The scenes in it are amazing. Like when they fight Vulture from like the Leonardo da Vinci area with Gwen and Miguel O'Hara, that scene is awesome. Like the fight scenes and all the little animated things are incredible. It's always so fun to watch. And then that scene where Donald Glover's just sitting there as the Prowler, because, you know, that Miles Morales' uncle in the MCU, but I'm sure they're gonna retcon that. The Insomniac Spider-Man being there. When I go to the headquarters and they see all the different Spider-Mans, I was sitting there in the movie theater, dude, I couldn't sit still in my seat. I was looking and trying to figure out which Spider-Man was from where, which one I recognized, and all the effort and homework that went into that movie. And it came out like a masterpiece. No, I love it. I could watch the movie any day, anytime, any day. Oh my god, even Spectacular Spider Spider-Man was referenced in a scene, which is crazy. I saw it and I was like, wait, it's like one of my favorite animated shows. And also for me, it was the time I watched it. Me and my friends went to go watch it at midnight, and it was just such a good time just for the mood to be good. We got these Spider-Man match too, and then I remember I watched it again in 4D. First time I ever seen in 4D. It was so fun. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But man, they need to release that part 2 soon, because the way they leave it, the other Miles being, you know, more like a prowler. Whoa, that sounds crazy. But you know, that's what it is. I need that. They need to finish that. Definitely my number 1. Well, if anyone's still here, I want to say thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end, because I know this is a longer video. I mean, I'm looking at it now, and unless I pull up some editing magic, this is going to be a very long video. And I'm sorry about that, but you know, I really love these things, and I like to talk about them a lot, and maybe you guys will do me the favor of sticking out all the way to the end. Alright, but yeah, that'll be it. If you have any other opinions, or which I'm sure there will be, come talk to me in the comments. We could talk about it, have I'm sure, a civil discussion. But yeah, I'm putting a lot of effort for this video, so I hope you guys can enjoy it the way I did making it. And just one last thank you for the 100 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. And you know, let's just keep getting it up. I don't know what I got next, but might spend some time with this one. But alright, well, thank you guys. Have a good one.